10 pointless human evolutions. Number 10. The appendix. Okay, let's start with the most famous pointless human trait of all, the appendix. What is the function of this little pouch-like tube that pops out in the area that connects the large and small intestines? In the past, it was suggested from members of the scientific community, such as Darwin, that the appendix is a vestigial digestive organ, a sort of leftover from a time when apes and humans mostly ate grass. It's no coincidence that herbivorous animals like cows have an appendix too. Of course, it is much larger since its primary functions are to aid in the breakdown of cellulose in consumed plants. However, it's been literally ages since we've moved from grass to actual food, though in recent years some studies have revealed that the tiny organ might help the body's defenses by storing healthy gut bacteria. The risks one may incur if the organ gets inflamed or ruptures leading to surgical removal of the organ are way worse. So the appendix is not only pretty much useless, but it's possibly lethal. Number 9. Wisdom teeth. Now, I don't want to say wisdom teeth are worse than a ruptured appendix, but they're still no fun. The saddest part is that the majority of the global population is affected by them. About 70 to 80% of adults get them surgically removed in their lifetime. Those little devilish molars can crowd your other teeth and cause misalignment and damage to the jawbone and surrounding nerves, which translates into excruciating pain. I mean, the surgery is no picnic either, but it is still better than the alternative. But why do they cause so many problems? Turns out, evolution can really mess things up. Humans used to have bigger jaws, hence more space, allowing the third set of molars on top and bottom to chomp hard, and at times, raw food. Over the centuries, we've evolved and our dietary habits have shifted towards soft foods and cooked grains. Also, our brains are now taking up more space than they used to. Consequently, our jaws got smaller. Together with it, we should have gotten rid of those extra pack of teeth, and yet, here we are. Number 8. Hiccups. What happens to your body when you have hiccups? You might be too focused on ways to make it go away to notice. Scientifically speaking, when hiccups occur, the muscles we use breathing in contract. At the same time, the vocal cords are slammed shut by the tongue and the roof of the mouth. Is it upsetting? Yeah. Do we know what its purpose is? Not really. There are, however, some theories around. For example, if we have a look at the animal world, amphibians, specifically tadpoles, use a similar pattern of movement to breathe underwater. At this stage, they have both lungs and gills, and when they take in water, they close the opening to the lungs and force the water to their gills. Some experts have suggested that our hiccups might be a holdover from our fishy ancestors. Others have considered instead the development of the fetus in the womb. The contractions can help it to get its respiratory muscles ready for afterbirth, or hiccups can serve the purpose of keeping the amniotic fluid from entering into the fetus's lungs. No one can tell for sure though, yet we're stuck with it. Number 7. The coccyx. The coccyx, or tailbone if you prefer to stick to the less fancy and difficult name, is the ultimate remain of our ancestral life. It's all in the name if you think about it. Why would we have a tailbone if we didn't have a tail? Today we don't have tails anymore, though it could be cool, but we still have a few vertebrae at the bottoms of our spines where our tails used to be attached to. To get a better picture of it, think of great apes like chimpanzees, bonobos, and gorillas. And there you have it. They all have a collection of vertebrae just like our coccyx. Scientists have determined that over the course of evolution, the tail, which used to be efficient for balance, actually became in the way once humans learnt to walk. Today, all we're left with is a bunch of vertebrae that hurt like hell if they break. Well, it is a bone, I guess. I'd be amazed if it didn't hurt. Number 6. Auricular muscles. Here's something bizarre that you might not have noticed because it affects only 20% of the population. So, what are these not so common auricular muscles? Okay, find yourself a mirror and have a look at your ears and give it a try. Can you move them? No? Too bad. Yes? Well, there you go. That funny movement of your ears is caused exactly by the auricular muscles. And that's it. This is all they do. Not particularly useful, right? Yet there must be a reason behind it, and as it turns out, the most likely possibility is that ages and ages ago, humans needed these muscles to better intercept signals from their surroundings. Yep, we used to move our ears around similarly to what our pets do when they hear sounds. But as we evolved, the need for reactive ears decreased. For one, we moved around less and our necks acquired more flexibility. Gradually, having movable ears became unnecessary, yet the remnants of this still remain in a few lucky people today in one of the most boring party tricks ever. Number 5. Plica seminularis. It might sound like one of Sailor Moon's catchphrases, however the plica seminularis is instead a membrane you can find at the inner corner of your eye. What does it do? Nothing. Or rather, it has no purpose in the human eye. In other animals like chimpanzees, reptiles, amphibians, and birds, it's actually quite helpful. The membrane helps to keep the eye protected and clean, releasing moisture and concealing the iris from predators. For some species, it also enables vision when underground or underwater. The thing is though, is that no one could tell why we, humans, have the plica seminularis. Sure, evolution must have played a role in it, like changes in habitat and eye physiology may have rendered the tissue unnecessary, but the reason behind it remains a mystery. Number 4. Darwin's tubercle. And we're back to the ears. This time it's the turn of Darwin's tubercle. It's not as easy to spot as the other traits because very few people have it, and among these, many recur to surgery for its removal. So is it dangerous? No, it's not. Most people do it for aesthetic reasons. You can spot it on the rim of the outer ears. It takes the form of a cartilaginous node or bump. Yeah, it does not look nice, but again, it causes no harm to the body. Genetically speaking, it has been discovered that the trait is passed on according to an autosomal dominant pattern, meaning that a child need only inherit one copy of the gene responsible to have Darwin's point. Apparently, this proves that Darwin's tubercle was once useful. It is believed to be the vestige of a joint that allowed the top part of the ancestral ear to swivel or flop down over the opening to the ear. Number 3. Pyramidalis muscle. It looks like we used this to be effortlessly muscled in the past. The pyramidalis muscle, located in the lower abdomen, is yet another remain of our ancestral physical prowess. The muscle is shaped like a triangle, and, on average, people can have between 0 to 2 of these tiny, frankly useless muscles. Why are they useless? Ideally, they can help contract the abdominal wall, but as a lot of people are missing half of it, if not all of it, the pyramidalis does basically nothing we need it to. However, the reality is that 20% of the global population don't even have it, and no one can tell the difference without surgical inspection or special imaging. The same goes with the sternalis, another tiny muscle on the top of the pectoral muscles, present in only 8% of the population. Number 2. Paranasal sinuses. Remember auricular muscles? The primal function of paranasal sinuses used to be similar, but in regards to the nose. Located in the spaces between the bones around the nose, the nasal sinuses of our early ancestors worked as specific odor receptors that gave them a heightened sense of smell and aided in survival. Just like our dogs, we were able to identify specific odors from far away. Today, our sinuses don't really do anything special. Scientists can't tell why we retain them except perhaps to make our heads lighter and warm the air we breathe. Otherwise, they just cause headaches, infections, and potentially even cancer. So that's good. Thanks, sinuses. Number 1. Palmaris longus. Not a muscle, but a tendon this time, the palmaris longus. This tendon, which can be found on the palm of the wrist, is also completely absent in about 60% of the people. But don't worry, if you're among those, it's because you can easily live without them. Chances are you are more evolved than the rest of us. In fact, the tendon is most likely a remnant of early humans, when we primarily moved through the treetops, like Tarzan. Speaking of which, he must have had a huge palmaris longus, as the tendon is thought to be important for the grip. However, once we started walking upright, a powerful grip became less and less of a necessity, and the tendon has become pretty much useless today, but not entirely. Scientists have found a way to use the tendon in a different way. Surgeons can remove it and put it where it will do better. For example, it can be relocated elsewhere in the body for people who need tendon grafts, without affecting the function and movement of the hand and wrist. So that was 10 pointless human evolutions. Which one do you think is the most interesting? Which one do you think is the most pointless? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, while you're down there, why not give us a like and subscribe to Alltime10s so you can be notified when we make more content like the 2 videos that are on screen right now.